I think I know what you're thinking. Who the hell is this guy? Where the hell have you been? Well, let's get into that. So firstly, I just want to start off with a thank you to everybody who sends me comments, private messages, emails, Facebook messages, tweets, whatever, DMs that ask how I'm doing and what's happening. I just want to thank the people who care enough to actually, find out if I'm still alive. Thanks, Mom. There's been a multitude of reasons as to why there haven't been regular DMG why there haven't been regular DMG videos for a while. And there's only really been the Tabletop Crafters Guild craft-off videos that you've seen. So I'm going to go into that somewhat. And one of the reasons is because of this. Quest Givers. So this is a new venture by myself and the craft father, DM Scotty. And this boiled out of the fact that we were looking for collaborations to do. We were looking on how can we collaborate with the community better, how can we do all these sort of things. Obviously we have the Tabletop Crafters Guild where we do all the promotions, and we have the Facebook page and we do all these kind of things, and the collab videos with the other guys. But we wanted to do modules. So this is something we're very passionate about, obviously anyone who's been with my channel for a while knows that I've done a handful of modules that are on my website, DMG.info/store. Including Under the Tavern, and we get more onto that later. So Quest Givers was really how can we collaborate together to create these modules, and what came out of that was, why don't we throw our hat into the D&D tips channels, which there's a significant number of, but we wanted to do a different slant to that. So our slant is we create our own module. So there's a new module that comes out every month. And we talk about playing role-playing games, the flavor of how to play, the tips and tricks for players and DMs and this kind of stuff, with an eye to talking about the content that we've actually created. Now there's a lot of very good channels out there, and most of them focus on specific games like D&D, Pathfinder, etc. We're more a system agnostic channel. So even though I even have my own game, 7D system, it's not about that. It's about the actual experience of role-playing, irrespective of which game you actually play. And we wanted to do that with the modules as well, creating modules that aren't reliant on a specific system. So it's like, oh, well, I wish I could play this, but it's 5e, or it's Pathfinder, or it's Dungeon Crawl Classics, or it's Dungeon World, or whatever. The modules we're creating basically are going to be things that you can play in any fantasy RPG system or game. It's a story-based module, and it's a lot about you as the community actually hacking the game and putting in your own stats, creating your own characters from the flavor that we give you in the module. Now, of course, if you've played Under the Tavern, you know that this is pretty much what I did with that. It described the scene and it sort of hinted at what could be in there, but it didn't go into specifics of stats and things like that. Now, Under the Tavern was enormously successful. It was probably the first time that there was a dungeon walkthrough of any kind on YouTube. The original, and in my personal opinion, still the best. There have been many people that have played online, who've crafted the dungeons, who've shared pictures, who've shared their streams with me. It's been an amazing journey just from that one single module. So we wanted to replicate that experience, Scotty and I, and we wanted to create an ongoing system of modules coming out that form a 12 module campaign. So it goes over an entire year, and then we'll be putting out extra content through the mailing list and communicating with people via social media to get how they would adapt these things to their own game. How did they do it? What did they do? And then having community involvement in the actual videos that we're doing as well, which means bringing on other video creators to talk about how would they run the module, what game would they prefer to use, and we could talk about different game system because we're not locked into one specific game. Then as community, if you want to ask us questions, you basically send us a video with your question on any social media that accepts video. We can then respond to your questions in video and build up a collection of information about these modules and about how to play role-playing games. You know, there's a lot of things that it doesn't matter which game you're playing. There's a lot of social aspects that go into it. There's a lot of storytelling elements that it doesn't matter which game system you're playing. You want to know how to tell the story better. There's lots of different things on timing and all manner of stuff. You know, how to create art, how to incorporate terrain. That goes well beyond one specific type of game. You know, originally when Scotty put out his channel, it was like everyone's like, oh, how can you not use a grid? We're well beyond that now. It's like, you know, there's so many different now channels in the crafting community, and we are going to continue to do that. So we will continue to have our crafting channels. However, the crafts are going to be heavily influenced by what's happening on Quest Givers. So when we're putting out a module, you might find that we're going to craft some of the terrain from that module. We might craft a monster from that module. We might create a side quest to that module. We may do a range of different things on each of our individual channels. So Quest Givers is where we are going to have these modules come out. We'll talk about them. The website questgivers.com. You can sign up for the mailing list where we will send out free content that is in addition to what the modules will be. And you'll be able to purchase the modules each month in order to support the making of the channel. So after 12 modules are wrapped up, we will begin another campaign and we'll start again. So it's going to be an ongoing thing from here on forward. So some people are going to be asking, well, what about your other channels? Because I have 2 other channels that are related to this. A lot of people don't even know this, but there's one called 7D System, which is my role-playing game that I've developed. That is currently in the final stages of editing. I'm busy doing the art for that. Now, on that channel is typically where I, again, also talk about role-playing games with a bent towards 7D System. I talk about world building, monsters, all this kind of stuff on that channel. That's going to continue. So that has been on a small hiatus while I've been trying to finish the actual core mechanics guide for 7D System, but it's coming back. And things like Treacherous Trap Tuesday, which has been very, very popular in the community, that's definitely going to be heading back to your YouTubes. And the other channel is Drawing Worlds. So this is where basically I just put out me drawing the art for the various different things, for DMG Info, for Quest Givers, for 7D System. So as I produce art, I put it onto that channel. So if you enjoy my art and you want to know how I do it, I basically just do a recap of what I did to draw specific things. The 4 channels now, Quest Givers, the DMG Info, 7D System, and Drawing Worlds. The links for all of these are in the description below this video. But what about the DMG Info? So, you know, you've subscribed, you want to know what the hell is happening with this channel. So, as I said, with Quest Givers, we're going to be putting out all these modules and all this sort of thing, and I do a lot of live play on 7D System channel. The future of DMG is I'm switching over from the standard tile set that I used to make, that was in all my previous videos, and I'm going towards a new style of tile system. Now, you won't necessarily need to use the style of tile system. It's still going to be a channel about how to use cheap garbage that you find lying around to actually make things. I may throw in a few extra little bits and pieces here and there in terms of tools or something like that, but you know me, it's not going to be anything crazy. This channel is going to continue to put out crafting videos, but they're going to be based on the new tile system. Now, the new tile system is going to fit into the live play system that I've been talking about on 7D System. So all the live play videos are going to utilize the tile system, and all the Quest Givers content is going to be used in the live plays using my 7D System role playing. So you can see that everything's kind of starting to mix together into a variety of different modes of output. Now obviously I have not been consistent in the videos coming out, and there's a variety of reasons for this. While making this channel over the last 5 years, I've moved 4 times, and you would have seen the backgrounds change in my videos over that 5-year period, which was the various areas that I had to move all my stuff and reset up where I work. And currently I'm in a very small room. So the room I'm actually in now is no more than about 9 or 10 square meters. It's got 2 crafting tables. It's got my computer, which has 3 monitors, and it's a massive computer. It's got a single small window that's all the heat from the computers and the lights and cameras and everything has to get it, and it's enormously uncomfortable filming in here. So what I've been looking at doing is, because I also film a lot of other channels that I'm not actually on, but I actually film for other channels, and there's a lot of things that I do editing wise and that sort of thing for other channels, and a lot of online stuff. I am currently looking for studio space. So not massive studio, we're not talking like Hollywood kind of crap. You know, just somewhere where I have more space that I can air condition properly, and I can set up the lights permanently, because I'm always setting up, taking down, setting up, taking down, setting up, taking down, because I just don't have enough space. I've got about 1.5 square meters of floor space in here. There's just so much stuff in this room. And it's really about getting more space so I can flex a little bit, and I have a dedicated place to edit, and I have a dedicated place to put everything, because in summer, in this room, it gets sometimes up to about 42 to 45 degrees Celsius, which is a lot. That's about 110 Fahrenheit, I think, somewhere around there. When I was in Vegas, it was 102, and they said that was 40. So it's probably up around the 105, 110 Fahrenheit. So it can get enormously hot in here, which means the computer slows down, things don't work properly, air conditioning's on the whole time, there's lots of noise. It's very, very difficult to maintain. So that's what I'm trying to do that. Now I have another office, which is my main job. I own a computer problem solving business. So I spend at least 60 hours a week working on that. So all this stuff is done in my extra time, and then I have a very understanding wife who's currently back at university restudying. She's changing career paths because of the upheaval in modern society. You know, these days you have to have more than one career. When I have a dedicated spot that I can work out of that has space, I can shift and change and do things, and I don't have to be resetting up with lights and all that kind of thing. So that is part of what I'm doing at the moment. So when will this start? I can't give you an exact answer to that. But I want to start before the end of the year. Definitely it's going to be happening in 2019, so either at the beginning of the year or, you know, like a couple of weeks in. But I want to start it before the end of 2019. As I said, I have filmed some of the videos for the new tile system. So I have that, but I want to build up more of a back catalog so that I have that consistency of videos coming out each week, so you can expect to see it on the day that I decide that's the day that the videos are going to come out on. This channel is already 5 years old, and some of you long-time subscribers will know that when I first hit 10,000 subscribers, it reset back to 0. So I went all the way back to 0 subscribers again. So it took me a long while. It took me a year, and I think even more, a year and a half, to rebuild back up to that 10,000 subscriber level, thanks to the community. And that's one thing. If you're creating a video channel and all that kind of thing, don't dismiss the importance of the community that backs your channel and are there for you. They're the people who keep messaging me all the time, want to find out if I'm still alive. Channels like Nerdarchy and those sort of channels that are now big channels, they were helping me rebuild my subscriber base up to the original 10,000 and beyond. So we're now nearly 23,000 subscribers, and I'm basically I'm restarting the channel. So I'm not going to sort of start from 0 again and remake chairs and things like that. If I do chairs, it will be a different variant of what I did before. So it won't be the same video. And of course, I'm changing the way the tiles systems are working with a bent towards more online play, because I get a significant number of people saying to me, I'd love to get into crafting, but I play online, or I don't have a gaming group, or all these sort of things. The tile system that we're going to be doing on this channel is geared towards online play. So it's a stylistic and philosophical shift in the way that I do things. And I've been letting the channel rest for a while so that I can basically reboot it. Because one of the problems that I had, if you look at my early videos that happened before the crash, you'll see that you can't see how many views there are. I can see how many views there are, but it's not publicly facing. This is one of the few YouTube channels on YouTube that actually has this. And YouTube can't actually correct the problem. I've been to the actual YouTube offices in Sydney. I've done training there with them, because I run about 16 channels now. But I've been to there. I've spoken with actual technicians, and there's nothing they can actually do to fix that problem, which is part of that crash, and it's going to just exist in their database going forward. So part of it is I need to really start again and rebuild with the consistency that you see in friends like Black Magic Craft, who puts out a video every single week. So that's what I'm hoping to get towards, to at the very minimum be putting out one video a week, and build upon that with the new tile system and cross-pollinating content across various different channels. So I'm busy finalizing what days different things are going to come out. So one channel do something on one day, another channel do something on another day. Quest Givers is every single Friday. So on Friday, that's when that video will launch. So I'm still sort of deciding which one DMG will be on, 70 System, Drawing Worlds, etc., etc. I hope you will go and subscribe to Quest Givers, which it's a lot of fun in games. It really is. This is the drawing I did for the cover for our first module, Death and Taxes. It's an extremely flavored story that was going to give Game of Thrones a run for its money. So this is not for children. And thank you to everybody who supports this channel by making purchases on my store. I don't have a Patreon for DMG Info. I do have one for 70 System. And Quest Givers will all be about selling the modules. So you will be able to support us in that way. So DMG, the only way you can support DMG is by purchasing modules and card games and all kinds of things that I put out on my website, the DMG Info, the DMG.info/store, and also by purchasing purchasing through the Amazon links and stuff in the video's description below. I have other things as well, like from Drawing Worlds, I put out these sort of things, so my artwork actually goes onto cool things like throw pillows. That's available on Redbubble. If you go to my Drawing Worlds channel, you'll see that on there. So there's a myriad of different ways to support, and hopefully going forward you will enjoy the content that's being planned. So I have filmed a few videos already, and a few different designs for the new tile system, and that's going to be rolling out probably in the next month or so, but most of it's going to kickstart in 2019. Now the other thing, people have always been asking me, what about Under the Tavern? Now Under the Tavern, the sequel is going to come out in 2019, Deeper Under the Tavern, and basically it's more levels below the original 5, because for some reason people seem to think that 5 is a lot. Well, you're going to see a lot more than that. But what it's going to be is you revisit the dungeon that was before. So you don't have to make a whole bunch of new tiles, because you can reuse the tiles that you have from the previous version. But things are going to have changed, because it's going to be many years later. So you're going to be able to revisit the levels that you've been through before, but things have opened up, stuff has shifted. If you've played the module or you've watched the videos, there was a lot of ground collapse and water and all that kind of thing. So things will have changed on each of the levels, and yeah, it's going to be quite a lot of fun going through that. So look out for Deeper Under the Tavern in 2019. So thank you for watching this video. I know it is a long one. I am sorry about the length, but I thought I just needed to explain where I've been, what I've been up to, and what's coming ahead. like button.